Building. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Jimenez.
Here.
Councilman Wendell.
Here.
Councilman Rick.
Here.
Councilman Congleton Hill.
Here.
Councilman Kim. Here. Councilman Jafar. Councilman Martucci.
Here. All right, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Pastor, would you please come up and say a prayer for us? I know that I didn't warn you before, but all I do want to say is, since our last, well, I wasn't here in the last meeting, but last month, we did lose a member of the Richfield family, Domenica Blum, who was a crossing guard at the corner of Prospect and Slocum for years. And I'm trying to ask, how long has she been there? Like, it's just as long as I remember she was there. She passed away at the end of March. I got to go to her funeral, very nice funeral. Yeah, so please pray for her family, Jenny Lilienthal, who still lives on Slocum Avenue.
Yes, oh my goodness, she was a good friend, and I'm sorry to hear of her passing. Let us pray.
We also have, this past weekend, Eric Madsen, who used to be a former employee of the PPW, that's passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, I appreciate you. Good and gracious God, we ask your blessings on this time and this meeting. May the words that are spoken and the people that are here feel heard and refreshed and blessed by the holy work of doing the government's business. We ask this in the name of all that we pray for. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please be seated. I have a few things for correspondence. We got the police report for the month of March. The police are doing a great job. They gave out over 1,500 tickets last month, and I got to tell you, about 2/3 were moving violations. So, and about the 1/3 is, well, maybe, yeah, about 1/3 is parking. Well, about 2/3 are moving violations. So we are addressing the speeding issue in town. I also received a letter from the New Jersey Sports Exposition Authority. We did receive a grant in the amount of $600 for Arbor Day, and it's to support the purchase of trees. Also, I did receive a letter from Mr. Richard Birdie. I thought I saw him here. Oh, hi, Mr. Birdie. How you doing? Thank you for your letter. I always like to read stuff like this. It's very positive. Mr. Birdie wrote, "Dear Police Chief Gallagher, several weeks ago, my tenant and friend of the family for years took a nasty fall at the corner of Oak and Hamilton. She was walking her puppy. She lost her balance. She fell and hit her head on a concrete curb. She also bruised her knees and an elbow in the fall. A nearby neighbor called 911. The Richfield police were on the scene within seconds prior to the paramedics' arrival. I'm writing to commend Sergeant Andrew, well actually it's Lieutenant Andrew O'Brien, and Police Officer Billy Pitch Jr. My tenant was disoriented and bleeding, and she was comforted by both officers and reassured she would be okay. They kept her comfortable and safe until the paramedics arrived. More importantly, they were compassionate in their care, and I know that certainly comforted her." So thank you very much, Mr. Wright. That's not the whole letter, but this is some of the great work our police is doing. Kenny, I'm going to hand this to you so you can give it to TJ when he gets back. So you can show it to everybody. People are appreciative of the work you guys are doing. Okay, so first, presentation of the Earth Day poster contest winner certificate. All the certificates are here? Okay. Who's the environmental lead?
Okay. Rob Thomas.
Oh, here you go. No problem.
Oh, here we go. All right, the first one is to Joshua Orozco. You got double duty. Joshua, come on in here.
You come up in front, hon.
Oh, hey, Joshua. Okay, I'll tell you what, why don't you hold on? Oh, that's your, for your paper? Oh, okay, let everybody see it.
You wanna hold it up so everybody can see it? Very nice.
You guys wanna hold this one? Okay, Joshua, why don't you stand back there, because we're gonna take a good picture.
Congratulations, Joshua.
Oh, you got something there? Aurea Malji. Phoenix Fernandez?
Yeah, I need it.
Phoenix Fernandez? And Ileana Kim? Okay, so, all right, so. All right, David, can pull it up more high. Don't cover your face, don't cover your face.
Problem.
Okay, Joshua, why don't you come here over here, so take a group. Okay, congratulations. Okay, next. This is a proclamation. I'm not gonna be part of it, but Nighty, why don't you have your group come up? Okay, whereas from 1915 through 1923, during the Armenian genocide, 1.5 million ethnic Armenian men, women, and children, as well as over 1 million Greek, Assyrians, Chaldean, Pontiac, Syriacs, and others were massacred as part of a planned complete eradications of these Christian indigenous communities by the Turkish Empire during the first modern genocide that still requires justice. And whereas Near East relief efforts with the active participation of the Garden State resulted in delivering $117 million of assistance between 1915 and 1930 that directly resulted in the salvation of the Christian, Armenian, Greek, and Assyrian survivors from being completely annihilated during the genocide, whereas the state of New Jersey recognized the Armenian genocide of 1915 and 1923 in 2007, affirming recognition of the persecuted Armenians. I'm going to go down to the end. This is a very detailed proclamation. Now, therefore, I, Hugo Jimenez, Mayor of Richfield, New Jersey, do hereby proclaim April 2026 as Genocide Awareness and Prevention Month in the memory of the victims of the Armenian genocide, the Artsakh genocide, and all other genocides in honor of all the survivors, as well as rescuers and liberators, and further proclaim that we, as the citizens of the state of New Jersey, shall work to promote human dignity and confront hate whenever and wherever it occurs. So, I present this. Who's am I presenting this to you? You got it? Got it, Sean?
We'll take a picture for you. She wants in there. Do you want us to take a picture for you with your phone?
Which photo?
Just 1 second. There is two more coming.
Thank you so much.
All right, Joe,
There's
take
a lot of you. We got to step back a minute, but
Joe, you gonna take a picture?
one from me, and I'm gonna take one from here. Oh, I'm gonna let him take that first. It's on a picture. I don't know how to get back to the camera, so thank you.
It's ringing too.
Okay.
All right, just wait 1 minute.
I'm sorry. move out of his way.
Okay, trying to get two. Oh, autism awareness. Whereas autism spectrum disorder is a developmental condition which is part of the rich diversity of our community, and whereas individuals on the autism spectrum are valued members of our community who contribute in meaningful ways to our schools and workplaces and community, bringing unique perspectives, strengths, and talents, what enriches our daily lives, and whereas fostering a welcoming and inclusive community requires awareness, insight, and a commitment to support individuals of all abilities, and whereas building a supportive community means recognizing and valuing differences, promoting understanding, and ensuring that all individuals feel seen, heard, and included, whereas family, caregivers, educators, and community members work every day to create environments where individuals with autism are respected, supported, and empowered, and whereas greater awareness leads to greater acceptance, and acceptance leads to meaningful opportunities for connection, participation, and belonging, and whereas the month of April provides an opportunity for our community to come together to learn about autism, celebrate neurodiversity, and reaffirm our commitment to inclusion. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Hugo Jimenez, do hereby proclaim the month of April as Autism Awareness and Acceptance Month in the borough of Richfield, and encourage all residents to learn more about autism, support local efforts, practice kindness and inclusion, and celebrate the contributions of individuals with autism. And we're going to recognize several members, and I just got to say, all the members that are getting certificates for this, as somebody whose family members has autism, it is, I empathize with you that it does take a lot of patience to deal with some of them. I have a family member that's, I'm not sure how you say it, somewhere on the spectrum, but one that is very high on the spectrum. I'm not sure if that's the correct definition, but it does require a lot of patience, and I really admire all of you who do this. So.
And this year, we're very fortunate to recognize the leaders of our Magnet School program, where we have children from across the county, across northern New Jersey, who can be educated in our community, including children from our own community who are getting a phenomenal education here in Ridgefield. Some of our recognees tonight have been with the program for a couple of decades. Some of them are newer, but all of them do an incredible job to make sure that that opportunity is available to our students in our community every single day of the year. So we cannot thank you enough for that.
Mr. Yang, if you'd like to
Mr.
come
Grippa,
up.
I saw you.
Mr. Grippa,
Ms. Hoffman,
Board
all of our
members,
Board of Ed members, if you'd like to come
if you'd
up.
like to come up.
School administration. That's not Grippa, he walked out.
I see.
We keep making him get in pictures, he loves this.
So, first, we're going to give a certificate to Ms. Patricia Dramones, the Supervisor of Special Services.
She oversees the entire program for all of our special
Okay.
Oh, they're coming up next, don't worry,
All
we'll
right,
call you all up individually.
you know what? Andrew, you want to hold on to this one? Just hand it for. Okay, then,
Hugo, picture. Hugo.
oh, sorry.
All right.
Are they
Stand
part
right
of
here,
it?
don't go anywhere.
Oh, we're doing one of the.
Andrea Fasciolo,
She
Chairperson.
couldn't make it tonight, but we love Andrea too. Andrea oversees the entire child study team and makes sure that IEPs are in compliance and that our children have the services they need.
Lori Ann Denson.
Yay, Dr. Denson!
Dr.
Dr. Denson oversees the program up at the high school, including our 18 to 21 program, the STRIVE program. I know.
We got Annabelle Gonzalez, supervisor of instruction.
Ms. Gonzalez oversees the programming at Slocum SKUs, and she does a phenomenal job making sure that families feel welcome all the time. That's what I get. I get that feedback all the time. Oh, no. You gotta be in the picture too.
Miss Janine McGlynn, Taylor Academy principal.
Ms. McGlynn also oversees Learning Center programming for Bergen Boulevard and Bergen Boulevard School and Shaler Academy, in addition to being a principal, so she wears many hats. Mayor Tom wants to come down for the group picture? Anyone?
You guys need visors.
All right, squeeze her.
We don't have them.
Don't worry, the man don't bite.
They say that to you when you're kids. Pretend you like each other.
Good job.
Let's give them a hand.
I know, I'm watching on TV.
Give them to Miss Yankee. Yes.
My son is playing her grandson.
Oh, you have to go up this way.
Photography's on my site.
Do I would. Thank you.
We'll just take a 3-minute break. If one of the received award, they'd like to step out before we continue our business. All right, while we wait for our CFO, for the hearing on the budget. Oh, okay. So, resolution 136, waiver of the reading.
Whereas, say 40A:4-8 provides for the budget, be read by title only at the time of public hearing if the resolution is passed by not less than a majority of the full governing body, provided that at least 1 week prior to the date of hearing, a complete copy of the approved budget as advertised has been posted in the municipal building, and copies have been made available by the municipal clerk requiring them. Whereas these two conditions have been met, now therefore be it resolved that the budget shall be read by title.
Roll call.
Councilman Rondo?
Yes.
Abstain. Councilman Conklin? Yes. Councilman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Farr? Councilman Marquardt?
Yes. Before we open up the hearing, Frank and Mr. Bliss, can you give us a summary? What we're gonna do is, we're gonna let them give a summary, and if any of us have questions, I'll start off with some questions, and members of the finance committee, and then anybody else, and then we'll open it up to the public.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're having a hearing on the 2019 2026 budget. The budget represents all the appropriations needed to keep all the borough departments and all the services that are provided to the residents. There are no cuts in services or cuts in personnel. The budget was reviewed by the state, it was under state review. They had several questions, we answered those questions, and they gave us permission to have the hearing as well as adopt the budget tonight. The overall budget increased, just get it. Overall budget increased $1,105,000, or about 4.2%, for municipal services, and increased another $49,000 for the library. Overall taxation is going up $1,299,634. Library is up a little over $49,000. The tax rate is projected to increase by 3.2 tax points, or 3.2 cents. The increase to the average homeowner is approximately $286. Some of the larger items that the borough is faced with is increase in health insurance of 24%, over $755,000 over last year. Health insurance has been a driver of increases in every municipality, anywhere from 20% to as high as 35%. You actually came in at 24%. Some other additional increases was in the deficit in the swim pool. We had to increase that by about $126,000. Overall, DPW, road, garbage and trash, recycling program salaries increased about 16.4%, or $302,000, based on the contract that was settled for the 24, 25, 26 year. Surplus is down significantly over the last 2 years. It's down about $3.5 million, and the borough had to reduce the amount of surplus anticipated in this budget by about $705,000. Also, interest on investments, we had to reduce that revenue source by $197,000. So all these items were the main drivers in the increase in this year's budget. As far as the caps that you must meet, the appropriation cap, you are under by about $45. It was very tight, budget's very tight. The appropriation cap, and on the tax levy cap, we're below the tax levy cap by over $1 million, meaning theoretically the budget and the tax rate could have went up another $1 million over what it did. So you're way under the levy cap, you're basically right at the appropriation cap. Again, the budget was reviewed by the state. We have to make one minor adjustment. You'll see a resolution to amend the budget to decrease police salary and wages by $3,400 and increase reserve for uncollected taxes by $3,400. That was to get us in cap. We had a change in our added construction value, and we had to make up $3,400 in cap. That's pretty much the summary of the budget. I'll pass it on to Frank if he has anything to add.
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff hit most of the main points. We've been discussing it. As Jeff highlighted, the biggest increase is health insurance of $755, and that we're fortunate enough that we're now at the 38% that we were looking at originally, which was a dramatic savings for us by about $450,000. That's what we were looking at originally before we switched up on insurances. Also, the biggest part, the second largest, is the reduction in the use of surplus, but that is a necessity right now because utilizing surplus each year is part of the budget, and since we have reduced it by $3.5 million over the last 3 years, it's not sustainable, so we're out of number that we feel will be reduced slightly more next year, because I don't think this is a very tight budget. Once our revenues increase, we're not going to be able to replenish it in its entirety. But we do have the plan based on a 3-year plan that we will be able to start replenishing in 2 years from now. So that was a big driver in this year's budget. I do thank the department heads for working with me, despite it was hard for them to take the cuts, but I did make sure, they had to not get things they were looking for or maintain where they're at. We were able to not cut any services, but we're also, nothing's being added really.
Thank you. First, let me thank you, Frank, Mr. Bliss, and all the department heads for working on this budget. I know it must be, to be the chair of the finance committee, it was a tough time too, working with the department heads, but just a few things. I'm kind of worried with the health insurance, because that's only going to go up. I mean, we were able to switch companies last year, you remember, Frank, and we saved about almost $500,000 by switching.
We're working on another alternative that, based on the initial projection given to us, we look to be a substantial savings into next year to offset the increase.
Well,
the state health insurance plan is looking at a 50% increase this year. Where we're at in the HIF, since it's a selective, we're not looking at that. We haven't received the rates yet. We'll find out probably in July. But those rates are already not being projected to be anywhere near with the state health insurance. And then there's other pieces to it that help offset that our broker, Jim Bars, has been working with us on. And we've been also speaking to some other individuals to see about reducing or maintaining very close with small increases for next year.
Yeah, the reason it concerns me is that I was reading an article over the weekend, and because of the no more subsidies for the Affordable Care Act, already 70,000 people in the state of New Jersey already canceled their insurance. And what does that mean? You can't spread out that cost. And that's the reason to have insurance. You spread out the cost around all these people. And that was, at that point, who knows how many people will have canceled insurance. And this is not just a New Jersey state thing. This is a national thing. I work for a company out of New York. I work remotely out of my house, but the company is based in New York. And my insurance rate, health insurance, is going up there as well. So this is a national issue, and we're going to have to, I understand we're going to be meeting with Jim Barson this week, and it's definitely any way to save money. I'm also concerned about, with the war in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz being closed. I read another article. I read all these articles this past week, and about gas maybe reaching $5 a gallon. That's regular gas, not even diesel. Diesel is already at $5 a gallon, and who knows how much that's going to go up. Already the average price of gas is over $4 a gallon, which is over $1 more than it was in January. Did we allocate enough for fuel?
We were able to increase that, but you did not see in bulk cost that much of an increase, because we were able to decrease the cost of our waste disposal by entering into a shared service with Cliffside Parks waste disposal. So we're still going to waste management effective June 1st. However, we've decreased with their increase now, we've decreased our per ton by almost $10. So that savings went over to fuel.
Okay.
Also utility bills are high too.
Yes.
Which we're working on as well.
We'll be talking about utilities later on, but right now, we don't know. I do know the governor did approve 3 sites for batteries, and they're hoping to pass on a savings of $74 million over a couple of years to consumers. I also see the debt service went down. I think we saved a little bit of money there. It went down to $378,000. Is that?
That is correct. That was because one bond is rolling off. We are now also we're trying to maintain this level as we move forward. We'll be taking a ban and making it permanent financing in the fall, so everything stays level. That was the part of the plan when we went into this building, to keep that service level where you're not seeing any major increases, and that will continue. That's part of our plan, and that's been mapped out for at least the next 6 years.
Okay. Again, I thank you, all of you, for the hard work you do. That's all the questions I had. I was going to let Chris once a year.
I have a question, by the way.
Chris is the finance chair. I'm going to let him go.
Thanks, Hugo. No, I think everything I was gonna say just pretty much got said, so kept checking off all the boxes. This keeps happening to me, so I'm not even gonna turn it on. Just
Turn it
really
on.
quick.
Turn on.
Or use Sarah's.
I'll try this again, I guess. So thanks, Jeff and Frank. Real quick, just want you to reiterate one more time. What was the overall increase of the health insurance and the state benefit plan? Percentage?
It was 24%.
No, the old plan.
The old plan was 38. The old plan on average was 38%. We were looking at least that, because we also do cover the retirees that are part of that. So they actually saw a higher increase. That for the 38% was for active employees generally. So we may have seen a slightly higher uptick.
Yeah.
So we're at 24, so it's a substantial savings.
So I just wanted everybody to understand, we saved 15% essentially, as
Right.
opposed to, this is not good, but that's what we're dealing with.
That could have been another almost $200.
By switching to the new plan that was this year, right?
Right. That could have been almost another $200 per average household that we were able to
Yeah,
save.
so that was pretty much it. I didn't have really anything else, so thank you.
All right, Sarah, you're on the finance committee, right?
Yes.
All right, do I have any questions?
Yeah, just to, make it easy for the public to understand, what was the reason for the substantial decrease in surplus?
Probably twofold. The amount that was utilized was too high, most likely, was, and the revenues did not come in at the level we anticipated in the budget, and therefore we fell short on the revenues, and this way we could not regenerate the surplus we anticipated in the budget. From over the last 2 years, just in 2 years, you lost over $3.8 million in just 2 years. At the end of 23, actually increased surplus about 390,000, but in 24 it decreased 1.1 million because we used basically too much, and then at the end of 25 it decreased almost 2.4 million. That is significant. And the tax increases in those years, in 23 was 0. We used 2.4 million of surplus to balance that budget. In 24, the tax increase was virtually 0. It was 1/10 of 1 cent. We used 3,175,000 of surplus. And in 25, the tax increase was 1.3%, and we used another 3,175,000. That amount of surplus anticipated in the budget was unsustainable. The borough could not regenerate that surplus because at the same time, the revenues were anticipated at their maximum amount we could. And in cases like interest on investments where the interest rate declined and the amount of cash you had to invest declined as well. So you got hit, in 2 areas. You couldn't invest the same amount of money, and the money you could invest, the rates were down, and we came up with a shortfall there as well. So I think the goal should be for the municipality is to get a plan to try to regenerate surplus and get it back to a healthier balance, so that we can use it in the budget, but only use the amount that we can regenerate, because it's significant. The decrease is significant. We used to have 30% of our budget in surplus. Now we're half of that, 14%. What we're leaving behind in surplus is a little under 6%, where 3 years ago we left 17%. So we have to probably plan out the next couple of years to see how to regenerate that surplus and get it back to a more healthier, get the borough back to a more healthier financial position. And with all that going on, you have these major increases in expenses such as the health insurance of $755,000, Social Security, which is like contractual, went up $83,000. So you had some contractual increases that you can't control. They are what they are. And then we had the decrease in revenue. So they're both going the opposite way.
So, sorry, Jeff, really quick. So I guess just to put it in simpler terms, for the last couple of years, our expenses were essentially growing exponentially, but you weren't really taking in any additional, if the tax increase was zero, right? So now everybody's kind of getting hit all at once, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
And then that coupled with the health insurance, right?
Yes, it's a perfect storm. It's like a perfect storm.
So I'm hearing a lot of numbers that make sense to me, $287 increase. Frank, maybe this is a question for you or even Ray. How many employees does the borough have
Full-time or overall?
overall?
Overall, including summer camp, we're about 300.
Okay.
Pool, summer camp, no, I'm sorry, 260.
Okay.
That's what's in my budget, because when we add in all the campers, all the
Yeah.
pool, things like that, full-time employees were about 67.
Okay, so we're about, I'll restate, there you are.
Sorry.
It's okay. So, Frank, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're about 267, 260 altogether?
Yeah, give or take, because when you add in your part-timers like camp, fire department, because they're considered employees.
Yep.
And you have 50 of them right there, and you have the summer camp, you have the pool personnel. You start adding all those together, you get over 150 right there.
Great, and full-time you said about 47? 67. And I know for some of us up here on the dais, this is our first job, when you're a teenager and you need a job in town. I just wanted to commend the committee and our CFO, our budget team, our departments for making sure that none of those people are being laid off because of our budget. Making sure that every employee in this borough goes to work tomorrow and continues to have a job. That is a huge undertaking and a huge achievement given what every other borough, the entire state is focusing on right now. So I wanted to thank you. Our borough employees are amazing. Our police officers are amazing. Our leadership is incredible within department heads and what they do. I appreciate everyone cutting down a little bit and taking that into account, but I also appreciate that we are not firing a single employee because of this budget. That's huge. And that matters to me.
All I'm going to add is that I agree with Jeff Bliss that we need to look into options to start bringing money into the town. And, it's like anything else, more money's going out, less money's coming in, so we got to reverse that. And I'll be working with Ray and as a council president, overseeing all the committees to help any which way I can bring ideas to start increasing our revenue.
Thank you so much for giving me opportunity to ask questions. Truly appreciate, Mayor. I would like to thank Jeff and Frank for continuing your service. I know you guys try really hard. Just I would like to ask you a few questions. What was the surplus of 2025? Last year. It was over 3 million, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that that Mr. Warren was asking that specific question during our budget meeting last year, and Frank, I think you answered.
I'm just looking it up right now.
Yeah, at the end of 25, we ended the year at 4 million.
No, I'm talking about the budget meeting last year, so it should be like beginning of.
What we did at the beginning of last year.
Beginning of last year?
Yes, when you were here, you guys were asking the exactly same question by Mr. Warren.
25 million.
Yes, yeah, 7.5.
So just to clarify, Jeff
I am not asking you, please do not disturb my term.
Jeff wasn't here.
So I December 31st, 2023, we had $7.5 million in surplus. That's how we ended the year. We utilized 3.1 that year. We ended then, after utilization, we were at 4.3 million. We started at December 31st, 24, we had $6.4 million. Again, we utilized 3.175. We ended 24 with 3 million, well, wouldn't have ended, it was 3,252,000. We only replenished 800,000. So we ended 2025 with 4,076,000. We're using 2,470,000 right now this year in this budget.
Okay, so what was, the amount again, surplus amount during the budget meeting last year?
We ended last year, well, December 31st, 2024, we had 6,427,000, and we utilized then in 2025's budget, 3,175,000.
Okay. And what is, the current, the surplus amount?
The surplus on December 31st, 2025 was 4,076,000. So what that means is when you take the 6.4, you less 3,175,000, you have 3,200,000. We replenished only 800,000 of the 3 million that we've utilized, and that's why we're going down. In the past, we were always able to replenish what we were utilizing. 2 million, that 800,000 is very low to replenish, and multitude of reasons. One, the budgets are very tight. We're very tight on the
Mr.
budget.
CFO, I'm sorry to repeat my question again. What is the current surplus amount? Current right now?
It's 1 million. We're utilizing 3 million. If it, we
Started
at December 31st, 2025, we had $4,076,000 in surplus.
Right now? That's what I've been asking. Current surplus balance. What is it?
Really, it's 1,607,000.
Well, it's, at the end of 25, it's 4,076,000. We're utilizing in the budget 2,470,000. We're leaving behind 1.6 million. That's half of what you left behind the year before. And it's going to be difficult probably to regenerate the 2,470,000. We need to find new revenue sources. We need to have a plan of how we're going to regenerate.
I understand. Thank you for your answer, by the way. So, to me, surplus amount increased toward the end of 2025 compared to beginning of 2025. Is that right? Because you said that less than 3.2 at the budget meeting 2025, but it ended with 4.2. That seems to be like an increase.
No. We ended 24 with 6,427,000. We ended.
I am
25
asking about the beginning of 2025 and end of 2025.
You ended the year at 24 of 6,427,000 compared to 25 of 4,076,000. So you basically reduced surplus by 2.4 million.
What is the property tax rate of this year? What will be the property tax rate?
It's 0.5.
1 point or 2 point?
No.
How much is it increased?
No, I'm asking you about property tax rate.
The rate for 26
yes.
for municipal is 0.50.
No, I'm talking about total property tax rate.
I don't know.
We don't have it yet. We do not have the Board of Ed budget, and we don't have the county.
What with the anticipated property tax rate of this year? I do remember that 2025, the property tax rate was 1.694%. So what is anticipated tax rate this year?
Well, it's difficult. If we don't have the Board of Ed budget yet, if I utilize what they think they were going to utilize.
I thought that they already budget.
It's changing, so they have introduced it, but it's changing, so we don't have their numbers yet.
Okay, that means as Jeff mentioned about $280 increase for average household is only for the bonus portion. So
Correct.
you don't know about how much is gonna be increased from the BOE. What is the expected total increase, tax increase, property tax increase for average household of 2026?
We need the Board of Ed.
We don't know that for sure because county. And
Okay, let me ask you this way then. BOE tax increase, would that be more than the border tax increase? So you mentioned earlier, you mentioned about $280 increase per average household. That's only from the border, right?
Right.
So usually there will be more increase from the BOE than border, is that right? Or the other way?
Historically, that is correct.
Okay, that means
Board
how
of
much
Education-
more we are
Board of
talking
Education
about?
makes up about 58% of the overall tax bill.
Right.
So,
What is, the overall tax rate, growth for, the border? About 20, what?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Okay, so
28,
how much?
28.
28%, and you say 58% is, to me, like almost double. That means,
Their budget.
approximately over $500 increase, tax increase, is gonna be from the BOE. Is that right?
I don't know.
More than 500. Just, the simple calculation.
Well, that's using that, it depends,
Right.
that could be, because their budget is more than double our budget.
Right, that's
Their
the
budget's
why.
about-
I'm just, since you don't have the exact number, I'm just using my brain to just simple, doing
Could be,
simple
yes.
calculation. So to me, the total increase for, the per average household will be over $800, including with, the library budget as well. Is that right?
Law number included the library.
no, 286 is just the town, the library's going up $18. But this.
With the library, no, that's just my question. Just, I would like to know, because as the taxpayer, that's what I'm interested.
I know, I don't have the answer of what the school's going up, I don't have an answer for what the county's going up.
Okay.
This budget hearing and this governing body is only responsible for the borough's budget. You should not, the borough should not prepare a budget based on what the school does and what the county does. You're only responsible for your budget.
Thank you for your comment, Mr. Jeff. Okay, last question. What was, what was, the tax increase last year? Mr. Frank?
The dollar amount increase?
Yes.
This is off of my spreadsheet. Jeff, you don't have it on yours, right? No. You know, the gross dollar amount increase? Yeah, but.
I was asking you about 2025 increase.
For municipal purposes only, it went up $170 last year.
Okay, so
For
this
municipal
year,
purposes only.
okay, so like from the board of town, seems like $100 increase.
Correct,
Only from, the town, right?
correct, 110.
And there will be more than double amount increase from the BOE and some from, the library as well. That's for, the for average household in Richfield. Okay,
That's correct.
can I ask you one more question, by the way? Mayor,
Yes.
last year, we are, since I was sitting in the finance committee, I remember that we decided to utilize, surplus amount is because we are expecting revenue, hopefully like completed by last year, which didn't happen. Means selling our old borehole.
Correct.
That is correct.
It did not happen.
That's the reason why we agreed to utilize
One of
the money from the savings, our savings account.
right, because the borough hall was.
It was unfortunate that it didn't happen. We are not able to close that deal. Somehow it's been delayed, move on to this year. So you guys are counting that extra revenue?
I am not counting that extra revenue for next year.
Because you don't know, because money is not on our hand. Okay.
It's been a year and a half out, so.
Again, thank you for your service. I know you're working hard. It is such unfortunate that we're gonna ask more money from our taxpayer this year.
I get a motion to to start the public hearing for the budget.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, please raise your hand, and we'll cut you one by one. Yes, you in the back there. I always do ladies first.
Laura Rutzenberger, 677 Linden Avenue. I'm curious as to what's causing the revenue to decrease.
Revenue is not actually, revenue is not actually decreasing, it's not increasing at a fast enough speed that as your expenses are. That's it, because we have set revenues, we're not in business unfortunately, but we do have set revenues. We get the same amount from the state. One of our largest revenue sources is for the energy receipts tax. That has not increased in the last at least 6-7 years. They did give us a small little supplemental 2 years ago, part of a settlement from 2012. We have not seen any additional since then. Actually, we're hoping we were hearing in the state that they were thinking about cutting that back, which would actually hurt us substantially too, because that's over $5 million of our revenue. We also received this year, we were fortunate enough to receive a little bit more from the Meadowlands, which we had not seen an increase, but again, interest income was gone down. And then again, expenses are growing faster than that slight increase. That was the reason.
Thank you, and I have one other question. Did you mention Social Security increases?
The Medicare, it's the borough's contribution for the Social Security.
Oh, based on salaries and increased limits.
Correct.
Okay.
Employees have to pay 7.65%, except for police. But all other employees, yes, that's the reason.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Anybody else? Lisa?
Oh, other Lisa. I'm like, I didn't even get up this time.
Lisa Bacacci. I actually don't have a complaint. I have a legitimate question. So my question is about anti-bullying, and
I think this is only on the budget.
Oh, it's only about the budget?
Only about the budget.
That's at the end of the meeting.
Oh, okay. See, I should come more often.
This is only about the budget. You want to come at the end of the meeting.
Oh, all right. I want to come at the end of the meeting.
Warren, you wanted to come up? Wait, does anybody else want to come up?
I'm
All right,
sorry.
Warren, come on up.
No? Okay. Good evening, Warren Vincent. And as you heard Colin attest, this is not the first budget meeting or the first budget I have spoken about. It's a good memory you have. Tonight, I've spent some time going over this and going over it, and a lot of the subject matter has been touched upon. And I've gone through and I have some suggestions, and I want to point out some things, because we did not get to this today in 1 year, one night. It's been continually building, and unfortunately, building on false or revenue that could not be sustained. So first off, I go to page 3B. And on 3B is new construction assessor certification. That's $34,000, $756.65 in revenue. So that represents, as far as I can see, he's calling it new construction, but I can't help but believe that it also includes the rolling reevaluation, which is always presented as not increasing our taxes, but it does increase our taxes. The next one is on page 4, and that was interest on investments. In 2025, it was clearly projected that interest rates would be going down. Yet, the 2025 budget increased, what was that, about 190,000 increased the revenue for 2025 when interest rates were going down. So all the extra money that gets swept into the accounts, which is a smart move, unfortunately, is going to bring a lower return. But it was not anticipated that way. It was anticipated more. What does that do? Well, obviously, 363, we didn't earn it. We did not generate any surplus on that line at all. And surplus is generated from unspent money in the budget. Now, on the good news, it was just mentioned, Hackensack Meadowlands did increase $332,000. We'll take that anytime. On page 10, I'm up to cannabis. I want to talk about cannabis. And it's on there as a manufacturer tax. Now, I remember the borough passed an ordinance taxing the manufacturing because the state does not collect the tax on manufacturing. So that $72,000 is a direct payment from one of the 3 sites approved in the town. But only one site that I recall is approved to manufacture cannabis, and that would be the old Fuda property. So my question is, so that's $72,900. When the 3 properties were pitched to the board and to the planning board, and I attended all meetings, revenue, they were talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars coming to the borough. That was 3 years ago. What's the status of that? What's going on there? Now, the next one is the pilot at 1000 Route 46 East. Have they ever submitted a financial report to the borough?
To date, no, there's no revenue, so they give us just no revenue reports.
So there's no official
They have no
report?
revenue.
It simply says no
We
revenue.
didn't contact them, yes, our financial advisor, we didn't contact. They have no revenue currently. Currently, they're before the
Okay.
planning board now, but they have no revenue currently.
All right, now they are putting solar panels on the roof, and that will generate revenue, and that was clearly established at the planning board meeting, that they will be, they came forthright and said it will be generating an income to them. But I want to go back just for a second. All they have submitted for a financial report is, we have no revenue, that's
Correct.
it?
We've asked them a number of times, but we are just getting no revenue right now.
Nothing to substantiate the no revenue. Like they gotta have expenses.
Yeah.
So do they list the expenses as a negative?
We've not received it yet. We are working, we've been requesting it formally a number of times.
And they haven't responded, okay. Regarding the cannabis, I would still be interested to know what the other 3 approved sites are doing. Well, one of them is Fuda, I call it the Fuda, I don't remember the name. But obviously on their manufacturer side, they've generated this almost 73,000. That's certainly a step in the right direction. It's just a question of the other 2 sites, along with the Fuda, are approved to distribute cannabis also, which is taxed by the state, and the state then returns a portion of that tax to the borough.
No, that's not how it works.
All right, then help me
We have a
understand.
2% tax. There's a 2% tax, I believe, for all cannabis manufacturing and distribution in the borough. That's a 2% tax we received. That's a 2% tax that we received here on the cannabis from the manufacturer, but distribution, we receive a 2% tax as well.
Did that come through the state?
No, they will pay that to us directly.
So, supporting what I was just saying, the manufacturing portion goes directly to the borough, and that was substantiated with an ordinance the borough passed. And I remember asking that question. Now, on the distribution side, that's taxed by the state. And that goes to the state and then comes back. The 2%.
They will pay us directly, the manufacturer.
The state's out of the picture?
I believe so, because I believe the ordinance
Okay.
is listed as
Okay.
2%.
In any event, that's 2% from 3 locations we should be realizing soon.
And, sorry, Warren, Frank, can you mention, that was from what period of time for the 72,900?
That 72,900 is just for the period of starting in mid-July to December 31st. We received that in January.
Oh, that's 5.
It's less than 6 months, slightly less. So if you extrapolate it out, it's about $1,144,000 if everything is the same with no growth.
For one location.
Correct.
So on that, do you know why the other cannabis sites are not paying taxes? Or let me You're right. The other sites, why aren't they paying tax if they're in business?
The other location just got state approval 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So we gave them approval, but the state did not. So they just got their state license. The second site got their state license 2 months ago, I believe.
And which site is that?
That is, Linda, help me out here. That's their site.
No,
Church Street, opposite the DPW?
Yeah.
Okay. So they should be,
Smiling Bud and,
Smiling Bud.
And the other one.
what's the name of the
I don't remember the name, they changed the name, I don't know the name.
But they literally just got, so we're in the process of collecting that money right now.
They do pay it.
that's good. That's good. Remember, I don't believe I was the only one at the meetings, and actually I think some of the meetings were right here. They were projecting substantial revenues coming to the borough. The other thing is now, and this is an accounting question, and I think it's leading to some of the decline in the surplus. And that's on page 15B. There was a large charge for salary and wages to the DPW. And I remember questioning that at the meeting. And they said that that had to do with instituting the contract. But that was in the year 2025. If I'm not mistaken, the contract was 2023 maybe? And it should have been charged against the budget at that point. So it did not appear as a charge this year on the salaries and wages for the maintenance, because if it was charged back when it was anticipated in the budget, it would have carried forward. And that caused the overspending on that line. And each time we overspend, that cuts into the surplus, which is not being generated. So where I'm going with this is, we got to get a hands-on spending. And I don't say, I'm not talking about laying off people, but people do retire. And before you jump into replacing that person, you should be investigating, and sometimes people move on and they leave. And before you jump into replacing that person, you should be investigating combining jobs and looking into other ways. Is the job absolutely necessary? But I trust you will be doing that. So that's my takeoff of what I was able to come here as a citizen interested in the Richfield Borough. And I hope this is the beginning of the turnaround, and that we stop anticipating large surpluses, which the budget's not generating. It's easy that way. It's just not generating. If you spend every dollar you take in, you're not going to make any surplus. It's that simple. Thank you.
Just real quick to point of the marijuana, the cannabis. Don't we also get a $15,000 fee annually from those locations?
Actually, we get a $15,000 application fee, and then that's, on initial, it's a $15,000 application fee and $15,000 annual fee. The application fee is non-refundable. If they don't get their license, they would get it back. We haven't had that issue yet. So yes, we do get $15,000 every year. So Smiling Bud, who is operating, we do receive a $15,000
And I believe that's, other towns are charging a lot more than that, so
But we can talk about that later. I've already talked to you about that. Will, like to come up? You want it? All right. All right, well, who's over there? Okay. All right, Rob, you want it? All right, go.
Sean Shalinski, 764 Abbott Avenue. It was mentioned that the pool is running at a $126,000 deficit, is that correct?
That's the increase.
So it's at a deficit of $126,000.
It's the increase in the deficit.
So it's an increase, so what is the deficit of the pool?
It's 480.
281,000?
Check it, but I believe that's right.
280,053.
280,053. Has it been contemplated or thought about privatizing the pool? I think once you get into a phase where you are losing money at this amount, realistically, it's never gonna come back. I mean, we know that. Because we're not a private enterprise, so we don't have really the wherewithal to be able to get that back into even a break even. So you have a pool that's losing hundreds of thousands of dollars on a yearly basis. You have a snack stand that's not operable, that's falling apart. Well, I would highly recommend that the borough privatize the pool or look into it. It would be a very wise decision. Mr. Bliss stated that there was a surplus being used at an extremely high rate, I believe 2023, 2024, and I believe in 2025. I have a question for Mr. Bliss. At that rate of utilizing the surplus, how long would it have been before Ridgefield would have been on the verge of bankruptcy? At those rates of using the surplus? Projecting.
Everything being equal, in 25, you lost almost 2.4 million, so roughly 2 years.
2 years. So.
If everything's remained equal.
So the prior administrations that had been in control for, God, almost 2 decades were just wasting the surplus and going through it like drunken sailors, practically, with very, very little oversight and foresight of what was going to happen. So that's why we're sitting where we are sitting today. There was a $755,000 increase in health insurance. Last year, I believe there was a $500,000 increase. I don't have the exact figure. I believe it was.
I don't have the number in front because I don't have last year's budget, but it was the retiree was a big piece of last year's pickup.
I understand that. I'll go with the assumption that it was 500,000 because I wasn't 100% certain, but I believe it is. Has there been the strategy to try to implement an incentive-driven wellness program with our insurance carriers? We need to do it. This is 2026. Dr. Oz is a former client of mine. I would be more than happy to sit down with the borough, maybe even try to get Dr. Oz here. We can put in incentive programs. I will volunteer my services to implement that and to sit down with the insurance carriers. We need to get healthier. We need to drive down health insurance costs. Also, we need to work toward combining all borough employees with the borough and the Board of Education with health insurance. There's got to be a way we can do it. There has to be a way that it can be done. I know some are saying no. I had a conversation yesterday with Mayor Morgan of Cresskill, and he was telling me that great strides had been made with reducing healthcare costs, health insurance costs for the Board of Education. He told me that they were very successful in doing it.
We're working with an insurance broker right now on a plan, so we just don't want to bring it up yet until we get a little bit more information.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Fair enough.
The borough also has no control, no ability to change or modify anything in the school budget.
Oh, I understand.
Or anything to do with employee,
Oh, I understand
school
that.
employee benefits.
I understand that.
Okay.
Why is the library budget not available now? And why isn't the county budget not available now? Dr. Ryu had mentioned that we are waiting for the library budget, we're waiting for the Board of Education budget, we're waiting for the county budget.
The library budget is a standard amount that's set by the state.
It's a standard amount.
And the county budget, they just introduced a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was
weeks ago, but they're still going through their budget hearing, so they have until, since they're on a fiscal year, July 30th, June 30th, we don't start seeing their numbers until late June, mid-June to late June, that's when they vote on it.
Thank you very much.
I just want to comment.
Hold on a second.
You let Gino talk about
Colin,
his comment.
Colin,
Do not
please.
yell at me.
Please, I want to talk, I
Okay,
want to
you
answer
don't
some
have to
questions.
scream.
But you have to wait for me to let you, you have to wait for me. Okay, I want to talk about the pool. Deficit on the pool. The deficit on the pool was about $60,000, $60,000 to $90,000 in 2019. We had implemented a friendly neighborhood program, and that brought down the deficit for the pool. But then COVID hit, and that deficit has been going up. People have not been coming back to the pool. We have an in-town rate for residents, which has not been increased for the last couple of years until this year. So our pool is a lot cheaper than a lot of towns in this area.
We're not losing membership.
No.
We're not, but we're not losing membership, but we're basically, the people are paying the same amount. We just increased it this year, first time in years. So to privatize it, I don't see a need for that. The Board of Ed budget, health insurance, well, first of all, they were not able to switch over to the new insurance system. If we combined with them, we would have to go to the state plan, which the increase would be 50%. Health. As somebody who had health issues in a long time, insurance companies reach out to individuals. What they do is they review their status, their medications, their health visits, and they do have, all insurance programs have things to make a wellness, to target those people that have issues with their health. And in the surplus, to say that we were spending money like drunken sailors is just not true. We did go from a $2 million surplus when I started out as the finance chair to a $7 million surplus. So we did build it up over the years. Like Colin said, the last few years we have used more. We did not generate it. COVID hit us hard. We were anticipating the sale of the old town hall. So we did not generate the surplus. And our ratables have stayed the same. We have not generated new ratables. So I just wanted to answer that. And the idea of privatizing the pool is a non-starter as far as I'm concerned. Now, Colin, I just needed to say those things. You can go ahead and talk now.
Yeah, I'm not that by the way. I was the chair of finance committee last year. That's the reason why I think I just want to comment to the respond to Sean's the comment. Even though with the tight budget last year, we tried to keep all the benefits what our residents can enjoy. That's the reason why we didn't cancel any programs. We still ran the pools and other stuff. And also we didn't fire any board employees with that tight budget. Okay, because we understood what is important, what is more important, and what is less important. We didn't make any false or irresponsible promises last year. We didn't mention that our the board employees' salary is way lower than other towns' board employees' salary, so we are going to match our board employees' salary to other towns. We didn't make those kind of promises. Okay, and we look really carefully, look at all the budgets of each department and cut off the unnecessary budgets. This year, when I was sitting finance committee, I saw I'm not sure whether it's finalized or not, I saw that there's a 7 times increase in the budget for one specific a department. I couldn't understand. We try hard, and the last thing we try to do a lot as the finance committee, we decide to shop for health insurance. That resulted in saving hundreds of dollars from our taxpayers. That's what we did. End of 2025.
Okay. Anybody else?
Now I have a real budget question. Well, not a budget question, I just a comment. So, I've been dealing with a bunch of these county things in other municipalities. And in other municipalities, we have the situation where, and I'm not sure if it's happening here, where people are sitting on their license. They're sitting on their license, they're dragging it, they're selling it, they're doing all that. And you don't want to revoke your resolution of support, but you can. You can. And I don't know what the demand is by other people, whether other, it's limited supply and other people are itching to get it. So if we have other people who are willing to get it, like I know we made a lot of money in other accounts because medical marijuana suppliers were like jumping, and we're getting a ton of money from them. So if we have other people who want the license, revoke it and give it to somebody else. And ours, and even though you don't have to give them, there's no reliance, and that's pretty well established. Our ordinance was written properly, and it says that we can revoke it in 6 months if they do nothing. So revoke it. And you know what? Revoke it and jack the fee up for them to $25,000 a year or whatever, and say, so sad, too bad. Get your license or not. It does take a long time, I understand that. But if they're serious, they're going to pay their $20,000 because they're going to make it back instantly. That's just a thought. I mean, I don't know what the demand is, but I'm just saying, revoke it. I had no problem. The minute we were going to revoke it, all of a sudden, the wheels started turning and people got all panicked and started doing things. Or other people came out and wanted it and we're like, we'll give it to you. So, just a thought.
Lisa, just to let you know, we have a limit of 6 licenses for cultivation and manufacture.
Yeah, no.
Only 3 have been applied for, and the state does take a long time.
Oh, no, I completely know. But if they're still sitting on it and they're taking advantage of the 15,000, jack it up. Revoke it and jack it up. You can.
Anybody else?
And to Hugo's point too, it's 6 total, but there's 3 classes, so there's only 2 of each.
I know. It's maxed out.
So we're looking at it, yep.
Ronald Martucci, 589 Prospect Avenue. So a couple of comments. So to piggyback, because this has been a thought for quite a number of years. So what do we charge on an annual fee for the liquor license in town?
That's set by the state, we can't change it.
But the liquor license is issued by the town, I thought.
Yeah, but
What's the annual fee? But we issue them in town, correct?
yes, the
So
state
what
tells
do-
us how much to charge.
So what do we charge for that?
$2,500.
So I think we have about 5 of them, and we charge only $2,500, and people are sitting on maybe 4 of them
A lot more than that.
for years. No, I mean, I know of a lot of places that have closed, and the licenses have been out there for years, literally years.
We got 31,000 last year for liquor licenses.
That's all licenses.
But we're charging 15 for the cannabis, so what?
15,000.
For one,
Yes.
and 30,000 for,
No, 2,500 for alcohol.
yeah, isn't that kind of obsolete, that fee?
It's up by the state. Until New Jersey changes the fee for liquor license, you have to wait.
So that's set by the state.
Yes.
Maybe the state should be lobbied, because the state has no problem raising everything else. So why, I don't understand why people aren't bringing that up for a liquor license, because not only is it ridiculously low, but people are sitting on them for years and years and years, almost decades at this point. So that's the one comment. So the other thing is, I know that in years past, the tax rate has stayed, I guess, about the same. But there's 2 components. You can correct me if I'm wrong. There's the tax rate and the assessed value of your home, which determines your taxes. So my taxes have still gone up, our taxes have still gone up for every year. So my assessed value, I guess because it's the 5-year assessment, every year my assessed value has gone up and my taxes have gone up. So I don't know why people keep saying the taxes haven't gone up, because they still have in the past several years. And then lastly, I think that I understand Board of Education is independent, but that's not independent to the taxpayer. So this group needs to actively participate and work with the Board of Education, because they're I think 56% of our taxes is for the Board of Education. So that needs to be done, and look at ways to have them also reduce expenses, bring in extra revenue. Medical is a problem. I hear that you're going to look into that, but have more options than the premium medical option, because there's a lot of younger people also that don't need the premium medical plan that will also be a lot cheaper. So we need options, because I know I'm on a state plan. It's very expensive, but there isn't any options. It's either premium or you're not on it. And I'm willing to pay more for a copay and have my medical benefits, the cost of my medical benefits come down, because a $10 copay kind of is ridiculous. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Lisa Hoffman, 823 Linden Avenue. I want to say this about 2.5 years ago. As a realtor, I was on the legislative committee for the Bergen Board. The New Jersey Association of Realtors did reach out to everybody who was on the board at the time. And we were concerned because what happened was the mayor and council voted unanimously to take away the increase in inflation. So what the law had been was that you could increase as a landlord rent 3.5%, I believe it is, and I'm not positive because I do a lot of towns, but I believe it was 3.5%, a little bit more if you pay for heat. But the cost of inflation couldn't go up higher. So the point is that taxpayers are going up 3.5%, but tenants aren't going up 3.5%. You can't go higher than 3.5% if you're a tenant, but if you own a house, you can. So we pay a tenant advocate who says, if you rent in town, you can't go up more than 3.5%. As it is now, and it could change, and we've discussed this multiple times, multiple people have said this, but if the Board of Ed budget currently goes up 10% plus the increase that's here now, taxpayers are going to pay that, but tenants are not. So where's the advocate for the taxpayers? I mean, taxpayers are paying for a tenant advocate for their rent to not go up, but that's not the case for taxpayers, and I think that's an issue.
Yeah, I think we've passed that ordinance during COVID, and it's 3.5 if the landlord pays for the heat, and 2.5 if the tenant pays for the heat.
And I said we'd come here, we'd be at this point, and we are.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, can I get a motion to close the hearing to the public?
Motion.
Need a second? All in favor? Okay. Resolution 137, 2026.
Whereas the local municipal budget for the year 2026 was approved on the 23rd of March 2026, and whereas the public hearing on said budget is advertised, and whereas it is desired to amend said village budget, now therefore be resolved by the governing body of Charles Ridgefield County, Bergen, that the following amendments to the approved budget of 2026 be made. Current fund, general appropriations, operations within cap, public safety, salary and wages, $4,833,926 to $4,830,526. Total operations within caps from $17,724,415 to $17,720,815. Total operations including contingent within caps $17,726,715 to $17,726,715. Salaries and wages $9,347,297 to $9,343,897. Total general appropriation for municipal purposes within caps from $20,604,460 to $20,601,060. Total general appropriations $27,525,966 to $27,522,966. Reserve for uncollected taxes, $907,000 to $910,400. Be it further resolved that one certified copy of this resolution is filed forthwith on the Division of Local Government Services Baskets and Certification for 2026 local municipal budget so amended.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Abstain.
Councilman Compton Hamley.
Yes.
Councilman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar. Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 138.
By title only, which is the adoption of the calendar year 2020.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Abstain.
Councilman Compton Hamley. Yes. Councilman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar. Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
So we have introduction of ordinance, no, a hearing will be held. On ordinance 2534.
As advertised, hearing will be held on ordinance number 2534 entitled an ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 355 of the Code of the Borough of Ridgefield entitled Public
Thank you,
Schools.
gentlemen.
This is,
Great work.
thank you.
Great work. Thank you.
This is the raising of fees for pool. Okay, motion to open the hearing.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody like to come up and speak about this? Can I get a motion to close the hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll read it.
Be ordained by the Borough Council, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield, that an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending Article 2 of Chapter 355, Code of the Borough of Ridgefield entitled Public Swimming Pools, introduced on the 13th day of April 2026, now pass the final reading and be adopted. And that the Borough Clerk be and she is authorized and directed to publish once the said title, together with the notice for its passage and final reading and approval thereof, on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Yes.
Councilman Compton Hamley.
Yes.
Councilman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar. Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
Okay,
As advertised, hearing will be held on ordinance number 2535 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 183, article 4, Recreation and Parks Department, section 183-12 of the Code of the Borough.
can I get a motion to open the hearing?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody like to come up and speak about this? No? Can I get a motion to close the hearing?
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Final reading?
Ordained by the Borough Council, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield, and an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending chapter 183, article 4, Recreation and Parks Department, section 183-12 of the Code of the Borough of Ridgefield, introduced on the 13th day of April 2026, and now pass the final reading and be adopted. And the Borough Clerk be and she is authorized and directed to publish once the said title, together with the notice dated its passage and final reading and approval thereof on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Yes.
Councilman Compton Hamley.
Yes.
Councilman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar. Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
As advertised, hearing will be held on ordinance number 2536 entitled an ordinance amending chapter 375 traffic of the street, parking, stopping, and standing on specific streets of the Borough of Ridgefield.
Can I get a motion for the hearing to open?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anybody like to come and speak up on this? All right, can I get a motion to close the hearing?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll read it.
Be it ordained by the Borough Council, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Ridgefield, and an ordinance entitled an ordinance amending chapter 375 vehicles and traffic, article 2, parking, stopping, and standing on specific streets of the Code of the Borough of Ridgefield, introduced on the 13th day of April 2026, and now pass the final reading and be adopted, and the Borough Clerk be and she is authorized and directed to publish once the aforesaid title, together with the notice dated passage and final reading and approval thereof on the Borough website, www.ridgefieldnj.gov.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Yes.
Councilman Compton Hamley.
Yes.
Councilman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar. Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
We have introduction of 2537, the person.
Yeah, I'd like to, can I make a motion to withdraw this?
Is there a second?
Second.
On, well, we'll have to do a roll call or just a roll call?
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Rowe.
Yes.
Councilman Compton Hamley.
Yes.
Councilman Kim.
Yes.
Councilman Jafar. Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
Okay, you guys are gonna work on this County Trust Fund grant application. Can I get a motion to open up the meeting?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, would anybody like to come up and speak about the open space? What are we looking for, Joanna? $250,000 to improve Veterans Park?
Correct. Yeah, we want to kind of continue on what we've been doing down there, make sure our facilities are appropriate for everybody in the community.
This includes a new scoreboard or, right?
Scoreboards are already.
Oh,
Anything.
okay.
Yeah.
Scoreboards are basically, they should be arriving what, like hopefully the next week or two, we hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been talking to people about that for like about a year.
Yeah.
All right, would anybody like to come up and speak about this? Okay, can I get a motion to close the hearing?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Real quick, Hugo, can you, for myself also, because I misunderstood this for a long time, open space, there's open space through the county? There's county open space, and then there's municipal open space, is that accurate?
When we talk about open space grants, that's a tax in the county that they use to do things with open space. So one of the things I was talking to Gino was that, when you wanted to do the community gardens, apply for an open space grant. Like last year, I've been trying to get the equipment rehabilitated or replaced on the 9/11 path. We finally got the grant last year, and from our races, we're going to be replacing that in the fall. Get together with the grant writer to do one for the community gardens, and that's the open space grant of the county.
Okay, because I saw in our budget, we have zero, it says open space, but we're at 0%, so that's a
We
separate.
haven't been awarded yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just doing the application. Once we get awarded, Chris, then that money would go into that line.
Okay. What do we have, resolution 139?
Whereas the Bergen County Open Space Recreation Floodplain Protection Farmland and Historic Preservation Trust Fund provides matching grants to municipal governments, to nonprofit organizations for assistance in the development or redevelopment of proper municipal recreation facilities. And whereas the Borough of Ridgefield desires to further the public interest by obtaining a matching grant of $250,000 from the county trust fund to fund the Veterans Park Improvement Project, including new fencing, upgraded gaming and picnic tables, and expanded recycling infrastructure. Whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of Ridgefield has reviewed the county trust fund program statement and the trust fund municipal program park improvement application and instructions, and desires to make an application for such a matching grant and provide application information and furnish such documents as may be required. And whereas as part of the application process, the mayor and council of the Borough of Ridgefield held a required public hearing to receive public comments on proposed park improvements in the application on April 27, 2027. And whereas the County of Bergen shall determine whether the application is complete and in conformance with the scope and intent of the county trust fund. And whereas the applicant is willing to use the county trust fund in accordance with such rules and regulations and applicable statutes, and is willing to enter into an agreement with the County of Bergen for the above named project and ensure its completion on or about the project contract expiration date. Now therefore be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Ridgefield that it is hereby authorized to submit the above completed project application to the county by the deadline of April 24, 2026, as established by the county, and that in the event of the county trust fund award that may be less than the grant amount requested above, the mayor and council has or will secure the balance of funding necessary to complete the project or modify the project as necessary. And 3, that the mayor and council is committed to providing a dollar-for-dollar cash match for the project. And 4, only those park improvements identified and approved in the project application, in its trust fund contract, or other documentation will be considered eligible for reimbursement. That the mayor and council agrees to comply with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, rules, and regulations in its performance of the project, and that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Councilman Raimondo.
Yes.
Councilman Ray. Yes. Councilwoman Constance Hanlon.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kim. Yes. Councilman Jabbar. Councilman Martucci.
Yes.
All right, consent agenda.
All items listed considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Borough Council will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless the council members so requested, in which case the items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. One motion signifies the adoption of all resolutions and applications and minutes. 140 hire DPW employee Marishula, 141 hire building inspector for building department, 142 rescind resolution 224-2025, 143 professional services Neglia Group and JDOT traffic safety improvement grants, 144 point borough prosecutor, curfew extension request for Carnival Friday, May 1st, 2026 to 1 o'clock a.m. Saturday, May 2nd, 2026 until 1 o'clock a.m.
Motion?
Motion?
There's a second.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Ramonda?
Yes.
Councilman Rhodes?
Yes, except resolution number 142 and 143. No.
Councilwoman Compton Hamlin?
Yes.
Councilman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jafar? Councilman Montucci?
Yes.
Be it resolved that warrants totaling $2,677,748.64 drawn on the following accounts. Current $2,629,596.66. Trust $43,027.67. Full $921.91. Community grants $500. Dog license $2.40. Co-op $3,700. Total $2,677,748.64.
Motion?
Motion?
Second.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilman Ramondo?
Yes.
Councilman Rhodes?
Yes.
Councilman Compton Hamlin?
Yes.
Councilman Kim?
Yes.
Councilman Jafar? Councilman Montucci?
First I want to congratulate or thank everybody. I got a proclamation earlier today, the teachers that deal with autism students, the Earth Day, congratulations to the students who did the Earth Day posters, and thank you to the Environmental Commission for doing the contest, and special thank you for coming, the people from the Armenian group. I gave them the proclamation, recognize the Armenian genocide. And as everybody's aware, I did miss the last meeting, the mayor and council meeting, and I'd like to thank everybody for the well wishes. I was recuperating from a kidney stone, so thank you, Lois and Gina and everybody. So. On Wednesday, April 1st, our Congresswoman Nellie Poe came to town to present us a check for $600,000, which is a grant to help us fix up the roof of the community center, as well as add solar panels and some electric charging stations. While she did come, I am currently waiting for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to release the money so that we can start that work. The first step would be to have an engineer review the roof and write up specifications. So then we can go out to bid and replace the roof. And again, I'd like to thank our Congresswoman Nellie Poe for her efforts in pushing this through Congress. Tonight also there was a resolution to have our engineer create a proposal for another grant we received. This is a grant that I had worked with Senator Paul Sarlo. It's a $2.2 million grant. Not only with Senator, but with Assemblyman Gary Scher and Clint Calabrese to address the issue of traffic congestion at the Route 46 and Grand Avenue exit, as well as Route 46 and Broad Avenue, as well as other traffic safety improvements around town. This is a grant we got, that I was notified we got last year. And this is something after I had some conversations with Senator Sarlo. So I'm looking forward to getting their proposal. I also was in contact with a new government liaison office at the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, and I talked to them about this exit at Route 46 and Grand Avenue, as well as the entrance from the Turnpike to Route 46. And I discussed with them possibly about creating another exit further south, because it seems like people come up to Ridgefield to go south to North Bergen. They said they would listen to us, but that they needed some details, and I talked with Chief Gallagher, who will be talking with Deputy Chief Ken Sheridan about providing them some details so they can invest in that matter. And hopefully in the near future, or probably in the far-off future, we'll have another exit. On Saturday, April 11th, I attended the 111th anniversary of the Armenian Relief Society, New Jersey chapter. Again, this was part of the Armenian genocide. This was a group that tended to the orphans of the Armenian genocide, and they continue to help people. So they invited me to their gala and said speech. I gave them the proclamation. Very nice of them. Saturday, April 18th, we attended, most of us here attended the Fireman Department installation dinner, so I'd like to congratulate Chief Scott Russo, Deputy Chief Frank Alineo, Battalion Chief John Hoffman on their appointments. It was a great event. This past Saturday, several members of the council and I attended the opening ceremonies for the RBAO. I wish them good luck this year. I also got to throw out, well, me and Joanna got to throw out the first pitch, and I'm glad to say I threw a strike, and I will let Joanna discuss what she did.
Nice. Thanks, Hugo.
Okay. At this meeting, as the last meeting I attended on March 23rd, I've given out many proclamations to the Girl Scouts in recognition of Women's History Month. I have given out proclamations to different Armenian groups, and today for the teachers of the autistic program. Proclamations are a long-standing part of local government used to recognize service culture, volunteerism, and the many contributions that strengthen our town. Honoring the Girl Scouts during Women's History Month, as well as recognizing women who advocate for causes important to their community, is both appropriate and intentional. Dismissing these recognitions, particularly when they center on achievements and contributions, raises concerns that whether these values or these contributions is fairly acknowledged. Recognizing people for their efforts is not a waste of time. It is part of building a community that values engagement, inclusion, and civic pride. These moments shine a light on individuals and groups who are making a positive impact, often without seeking recognition. While I understand that not everybody will agree with every proclamation, I will continue to ensure that our town acknowledges the diverse contributions of its residents in a respectful and inclusive manner. And I repeat, if you disagree and you want to contact me, please do so in a respectful and inclusive manner. Thank you. Gino?
Yes. Again, I'd like to thank Chief Scott Russo and the other chiefs, Chief Alineo, Chief Hoffman, and the rest of the fire department for inviting myself and the rest of the council to their installation dinner. We had such a great night. Looking forward to this coming week, I believe May 4th and May 6th, we'll be conducting our police interviews for the new candidates. We get to meet the final recipients and conduct interviews with them. So looking forward to that this coming week. But before that, looking forward to the carnival and having a good time with meeting our residents and sharing some nice fun with them this weekend at the Ridgeville Carnival. Hope we will see you there. Thank you.
Excellent. So first, we have an audience member and borough employee who celebrated her birthday yesterday. So if you all could join me in wishing Debbie Fignitti the happiest of birthdays, a day late, and happy birthday, Debbie. She doesn't look a day over 27. It's fantastic. I want to echo what Hugo said. Congratulations again to our recognees, our honorees. When I joined the council quite a few years ago now, it feels like, it was really important for me to recognize the amazing work done by our community members who don't always get to stand up here. You know, our first grade spelling bee winner, our science fair winner from the middle school, our athletes who balance school and work and doing phenomenal things that bring pride to our town. So I'm really proud of that work. I'm looking forward to, in the next month, seeing our winter and spring athletes. I'm looking forward to our spelling bee winners, our science fair winners. I'm looking forward to recognizing our teachers and educators of the year. These are all community members who have a tremendous impact on what we do. They are the reason why our town shines so brightly amongst so many others. So I think it's really important that we continue that work, that we continue to recognize the things that are important to us. And like Hugo said, celebrate the inclusivity that is Ridgefield, because it is so, so important that we keep that going. Many thanks to everyone who came out for the RBAO parade this past weekend. We got the parade in before the rain. Especially Councilman Martucci, Mayor Hugo, they were both there with me. It was a great event. Team Mayor and Council got the most cheers. We're very proud of them. We love those guys. And while I did make it to the backstop, I was prepared to throw overhand. They told me how to throw underhand. I don't know. I live with a bunch of boys in my house. I don't know how to softball pitch. But one of the coaches said he'd give me some lessons for next year. So I'm coming for you, Hugo.
Wait, how high did you throw the ball?
Too high.
Okay.
I just wanted to make mention, I know we talk a lot about our municipal services, especially tonight with the budget. The increase in our municipal tax rate, what we're looking at. I want to just remind everybody that our municipal services remain very affordable. We have a summer camp in our borough that provides a phenomenal service to many working parents, renters, homeowners, all of us who work in the surrounding areas, don't always have time in the summers to take off. Our summer camp is a 6-week program. It is from 9 to 3. Children have access to field trips. It is $165 per child. Similar programs in like literally the next town over, 4 weeks, half day, $300 a kid. So when we talk about what's affordable and what makes the quality of life here in Ridgefield so high, it's things like that. It's a pool where we can join, where the facilities are incredibly maintained, where our staff is friendly, where, again, I'm going to say it again, many of us had our first jobs here, where we employ local students, local residents who need this for a source of income. I think it's really important that we keep that human side of these numbers. Yes, we are all cutting back. Yes, we are being more cautious. Yes, things are going up, but we cannot price out our residents. They are very important. We do not all make, 7 figures. I actually don't know anyone who does. And if you do, if you want to donate to the Joanna Congleton, I have a lot of bills fund. I would appreciate that. But we need to keep in mind those who use our facilities. And if we're charging 10, 20 times what we're charging now, we'll have nobody at the pool. We'll have nobody in summer camp. And those programs disappear very quickly. I'd also like to say that the Recreation Commission is working on our planning for the Memorial Day Parade. It is scheduled to come our usual route down Route 5, down Maple Avenue, down Chandler Boulevard, ending with a phenomenal service right at Veterans Field on Monday, May 25th. We are looking to expand our parade this year, as we do every year. We've had some of our Rec Commission members reaching out to car clubs, different groups. I've been in communication with the Junior National Honor Society. We're trying to get as many people as possible in this parade. Of course, we need an audience too, but the more that we can do to celebrate, especially this year, the 250th, I think the better it is for everybody. So if you know a group like, we are the Ridgefield Historical Costume Society. I don't know, create the club. We'd love to have you join us. We are the Ecumenical Society of Ridgefield. Come march with us. Whoever you are, we would love to have you join us. Just reach out to myself, to Ray Ramirez, anyone on the mayor and council, and we'll start to get you involved in our organizing of the day. I think that's it. Oh, carnival information. I just wanted to give the specifics. A couple of us were down there today. Really impressive seeing all of the rides going from the parking lot onto the field. We actually watched them putting together a Ferris wheel, which I thought was fascinating. I think it's really cool. But the carnival opens up this Wednesday at 6 p.m. We'll be open till 10 p.m. Thursday, 6 to 10. Friday, 6 to midnight. Saturday, 2 to midnight. Sunday, 2 to 10. There is the usual entryway, but on Friday night and Saturday night, there will be one exit just to help keep people safe and make sure that our crowd control is what it needs to be for our community. We're looking forward to incredible rides, really awesome food, and a really nice time had by all. If you'd like to go online, there is an early ticket discount. If you just Google Ridgefield Carnivals, Blue Sky Carnivals, it'll pop up. You can also pre-purchase your tickets online. It makes it a little bit easier than everything's on your phone and you're ready to go. Other than that, have a phenomenal evening. We'll see you soon, and please, as always, just reach out if you need anything.
Wait, nothing? Oh, I was gonna say, when are we getting the band for the veterans, the hometown heroes? I can't wait to see mine.
They'll be here for Memorial Day.
Okay, they'll be installed on before Memorial Day? Cool, okay.
51.
Colin?
I was thinking about, after I heard, one of the comments from, I think it's Mr. Matsushi, right? I agree with what you mentioned about today. Our assessment value of the house keep increasing. And due to the 5 years plan, we cannot control increasing the assessment value. And on that, if we increase our property tax rate, it's going to be double impact to our taxpayers. So idea was, since this is the last year of that 5 years plan, why don't we just keep our property tax as low as possible? Then, starting from next year, since we may be able to control the increasing the assessment value, then we might look for like increasing property tax. So just the easy for the property taxpayers. That was the idea what I presented during the finance committee meeting. However, deep communication, deep discussion, and negotiation will not happen, unfortunately. I against resolution number 142 and 143 echo on our mayor's comment. Yeah, the over $2 million of grant from NJDOT is definitely needed. It's definitely needed. And we got the letter last year, but the money is not on our hand yet. They are asking us for another traffic study, which was done about 4 years ago by NJDOT. This project was initiated about 5 to 6 years ago. Former Mayor Anthony Suarez and others visit the Trenton and met the important people. And we chose the Colliers represent us and also doing some traffic study and so on and so on. It's almost there. The money is almost there to come to our hand. Is that necessary to change the engineer company now? One of the main reasons why we choose them rather than other engineering companies is that because we value their network. One of they are like BP, used to work for NJDOT. It is very valuable. That's the reason why we choose them to represent us and also doing some traffic study. Is it a good time to fire them and switch to different engineering company? I'm really afraid about the money coming to our hand, maybe keep delaying, which we needed. We needed $2.2 million for many reasons, even though it can be only spent for traffic stuff. That's the reason why I'm against the resolution number 142 and 143 today. Lastly, I wish all mothers to have the best Mother's Day.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you again. I'm going to start off by giving you a report with regard to the fire department. As some of my colleagues, Mayor Hugo said, that we at the fire department, we had our installation dinner, annual installation dinner last Saturday, which turned out to be a huge success. Chief Russo and other chiefs and captains, they all worked together to make it a successful event. And I thank you for all of the efforts and time that you guys spent on to make it, what it turned out to be. And also, let's see, to give you a little bit of a report with regard to the fire department services. Year to date, we had 148 calls for service. And since April 1st, we've got 29 calls for service. And of those, 4 were natural gas emergencies, 4 were carbon monoxide emergencies, 2 were motorcycle accidents, 2 bush fires, and 2 structure fires where we assisted neighboring Cliffside Park and Ridgefield Park. So I want to thank all the volunteers and all the officers at the fire department for their dedication and commitment. And we cannot thank enough for what they do for us, waking up in the middle of the night and whenever there are calls, and then, they're the first one to go there and, to protect our lives and safety. Regarding the budget. So I was on finance committee last year. That was the first time that I was actually put on the major committee. And of course, I had to learn a lot, and a lot of stuff just went over my head. I didn't understand, I don't have any financial accounting background. But one thing that I learned was that, we elected officials, we have to work with our town employees, our town administrators, and what they're the expert, and we give credit for what they have been doing for our town. So last year, realized that we are working under tight budget, and our town really, we don't have a lot of, we don't have a lot of revenues, and we don't have a lot in surplus. And as what our, professionals, CFO as well as Mr. Jeff spoke, we're just using our surplus without any money coming in. So what we need to focus on is, as what our council president stated, is we really need to focus on how to bring in more money, more revenue for town. And it's going to be obviously challenging. And that's something where we need to put our wisdom together instead of finger pointing that what happened in the past and who spent, a lot of money without planning. I think, let bygones be bygones. And we are starting again. And, one thing that I can tell you is that none of the council members want to spend money, unreasonably. We're all taxpayers. We all care about how much we pay. But this town needs to operate. And we do want to provide quality services to our town residents. So, yes, saving money is important, but also providing quality services and maintaining the standard of life that this town has provided to the resident. I think that's important. So what we need to focus is how to bring revenue instead of, just reducing spending unreasonably, because this is a town, we have to spend money. Thank you.
Chris?
So first, thanks to everybody for coming, whoever made it to this point, we appreciate it. I know it's been a long one with the budget and everything, but since Mo's not here too, I'm going to provide a bunch of updates. So DPW, I've been mentioning it for the last couple of meetings, but all the lighting is going to be getting replaced on Veterans Field, 5 Firemen's Field, Doc Miller, the tennis courts, I believe portions of the park going up Major Stockham, and Willis Field. They're adding a couple of lights to the pickleball courts, which are fairly new behind Willis Field, and I believe included in that is also the DPW building, indoors, inside. So we got an update that the lighting were approved for the rebate for PSG. Our contractor said that the lights are in. We're just working with them to schedule the work now and kind of phase it. And obviously they can't do it all in a couple. It's going to take a little bit of time. So Environmental, the garden, the town garden, obviously, it's on hold currently. We're waiting for the permit to be issued by the DEP, so our engineer's working on that. And he's writing it up, and he'll be working with us, hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll have that. We're planning to purchase a number of trees and start planting around town, so we worked with the Rob Gillies, the town environmental chair, who's also an arborist. So we got a nice list of trees, and we've gotten, I think, 2 or 3 different quotes. We're waiting on quotes. So we should hopefully start planting within the next couple of weeks. Paving, that's also, I think, Kenny, starting around May, early May, mid-May, paving?
Maybe June, sir, maybe June.
Maybe June. Okay, I have the list right here, so in case, these are all, everything in green is getting paved this year. So, I know everybody's been talking about that. Obviously, you see the work that's going on with PSE&G, so we need that to finish up before we can start ripping up the roads and paving. But it will be coming a lot this year. We're pushing to get as much as we can done. So, let's see what else. Before I get to finance, yeah, I was at the RBA opening day. Glad that we got the parade and the ceremony, and unfortunately they weren't able to get games in because of the rain, but it was nice that we got to be there for the kids, you know, with the ceremony. And maybe next year we'll see, maybe I'll be able to throw out the first pitch. I don't know, we'll see. So now going to finance. So we've had a number of meetings. We have another meeting coming up with our risk manager with basically discussing ways for next year how to reduce the health insurance costs even further. So we're talking about a couple different ideas or different things that have been implemented in other towns. Specifically, our risk manager happens to be the mayor in another town. So he has a number of suggestions for us. So we're looking to maybe implement that into next year. We also met with a health insurance broker, so it's another option on the table, but we're waiting to hear back from them, you know, on the full details and quotes and things like that. Regarding the cannabis ordinance, so yeah, I obviously wasn't a part when this was implemented. It's a newer thing, and we're going to be talking about that too. It's come up a lot. I already talked to Hugo about it and some of the other council members. So we're going to be looking into that and seeing how we can maybe adjust it going forward. Regarding expenses in general, so from what I can see, I'm the newest member here. I've been here for 5 months. I'm now the finance chair. What I see is, for the last couple of years, we haven't done the best job of keeping up with the rising exponential costs of everything around us. Everybody knows everything's been going up, so it's kind of like what I like to use as, you know, the best, I guess, to compare is if you're a business, and let's say you sell pizza and you sell pizza for $1 and it costs you 50 cents to make it. Next year it costs you 60 cents and you're still selling it for $1. The next year it costs you 75 cents and you're still selling it for $1. You're just having less and less money to work with to spend on normal or anything extracurricular. So to me, that's what seems like has been happening. And obviously, we've had a 5-year reassessment plan that was implemented 5 years ago, which every year your tax assessment, your assessed value on your home changes. I've yet to hear of anybody's assessment that went down, but you know, to me, what I saw is most of them went up. So your tax bill overall is made of 2 components, assessed value and your tax rate. And when you multiply the 2, you get your total tax amount for the year. So if your assessed value is changing every year, your taxes are going up every year, your taxes are going to go up even if you don't change the rate. So it's kind of, to me, and this is the last year of that, and I'm going to push because personally, we're going to be talking about it, but personally I'm not a fan of it. I remember back years ago, it was like every 10 years, you know, your taxes, your assessed value would be the same for like 10 years, and then they would reassess it after 10 years. So if you look, you'll see like a history of 10 years of the taxes were the same. The last 5 years, that was a different story. I wasn't involved. That's all I'm going to say. And regarding the the agreement with Colliers that's now being rescinded, and now Neglia Engineering is taking it over. We've had a number of conversations about this, and my understanding was that Colliers was kind of just sitting on this grant. We didn't get anything. We never got anything from them. And we were running out of time. If you don't spend the money, you lose it. So essentially, what it looked like was Colliers was sitting on this and kind of hoping that this would just die out and they would get paid regardless. So we made a decision to move on and basically appoint our new borough engineer to take over the project, because he's actually the one that pointed it out to us and said, hey, you guys are going to lose this money if you don't do something. So that was brought to our attention by them, so I appreciate them for that, and that's the explanation on what Colin's point was. Thank you, that's pretty much it.
Just a thing on the rolling assessments. What happens is when you do the assessment every 10 years, you get hit hard on the assessment. Because think about it, your house has been sitting there, you've been doing improvements possibly, and that assessed value is going to go up hard or high. And that means your taxes will go up high. And the idea for the rolling assessment is that you spend less on tax appeals. If you notice, well, before my first couple of years on the council, we had tax appeals up to wazoo. And then finally, after we started doing this, we did the assessment, we did the rolling. I don't know, I don't know how many tax appeals we have. I don't remember any. I mean, there's still some, but there's not as many as before.
Yeah, Frank did mention that to me, but it looks like now we're getting hit hard on the other end.
Well, the thing is that it depends on what the residential or commercial. There was one time commercial property got up higher in value than residential, so most of the tax burden was on them. But then one time residential was up. We'll talk.
Yeah, there's a number of things. I mean, you mentioned we haven't raised the pool fees in years, so we're doing that. And, you have to, there's things you have to do, or otherwise eventually, you're not going to have any money to do anything.
We're trying to make the town affordable.
Right.
All right, so, can I get a motion to open the meeting to the public?
Motion?
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Pastor, please come forward. I know you got a police escort.
And the pastor is truly the most patient woman in this room. She's been sitting so behind me this whole time.
Thank you. I appreciate the chance to address all of you. I'm the Reverend Pat Kaufman, the pastor at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Ridgefield, on the corner of Slocum and Prospect. 941 Slocum Avenue is where we are, and we want to be good neighbors. We are so grateful to be in this community. We've been here almost 5 years. I should have made a meeting before this point, so I apologize for not having made a meeting. But we want to help this community where we worship and some of our members come from. And one of the things that we've been hearing anecdotally is about the need for some kind of childcare, daycare. There are there's 5 preschools in Ridgefield. They seem to all be for profit. I didn't really do a lot of investigating about them, but none of them were accepting the child care credits that the state of New Jersey offers for our poorer residents. And so we wondered if we could be an option and a help to this community with child care costs, because we also know that for our poorer members, if they can't work, the quality of life immediately declines. So I guess our question is, how do we get on the agenda, I guess, for next month or a month after, or however that works? I'd love to present a proposal to the council about what we'd like to do, but we'd also like to hear what you feel the borough needs and how we can be of help. So,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And you're gonna have to talk with the building department and probably the health department. You probably want to start there before you come here.
Okay.
Just to make sure all the, I tell you the truth, I'm not sure what permits you're gonna need. But
Okay.
definitely talk with Greg. I think, you talked to Greg, Fontes, yes. And I can put you in touch with Bronca, our health officer, in case there's something there.
Thank you.
But I think the idea of childcare is great, it's always needed.
Thank you, thank you.
So thank you for
Thank you
coming.
for listening.
And Reverend, if you need any of their contact info, we can get that for you.
Thank you.
Yep. I think you sent me an email, right, so I copied them,
Yes.
but if you need their phone number, we can get you in touch with them.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else like to come on?
Gotta be licensed by the state.
Ron, go ahead. He came up first. You go first. It's fine.
It's not easy.
Ronald Martucci, 589 Prospect Avenue. So, a question, I'm curious, so you mentioned that there may be a grant for Grand Avenue 46. Do you know who's responsible to maintain that area? Do you know offhand? I'm not trying to...
You're talking about the entrance into 46?
The ramp onto and off 46.
DOT.
Okay, because I've tried so many different people. I drive through there every day, and then onto Route 80 there. So it's a disaster. I mean, the litter, it's a disgrace. I mean, litter everywhere, and nobody ever takes care, maintains it. And I've tried DOT. DOT says it's the town. The county says it's DOT. Then I get referred to for the Route 80 area that state or federal. I've been in like an endless loop for these couple of intersections, particularly also the one on going on to 80 Teaneck Road there. Has anyone besides me seen the dead deer carcass there for I thought it was 4 months. Yeah. I've seen the same tire there before the pandemic. So, I mean, how do I find out from?
I'm going to.
Because
you look into
I'm in a
this?
circular.
Okay.
So,
Although it's like DOT,
I
I've never heard
taught-
that the town was responsible because
Okay.
the entrance from Grand Avenue into 46 is Palisades Park. But I talked to the mayor there, and he said,
State
no,
highway.
it's DOT. Yeah.
It's in the county.
all right, it's kind of like nobody wants to take ownership.
Yeah, no one's taking ownership.
So nobody
And I
can
asked-
just kick it.
All right,
I asked,
I'm
Senator
gonna, you know what?
Sarlo.
I want to reach out to the governor's office.
Yeah, I spoke to Senator Sarlo last week about it, and also some of them in Calabrese. They were at NJT at an event, and I spoke to them about, that was one of the things. And they said the same thing. Nobody knows who's responsible. So I thought maybe, I don't know how I could get in touch with someone. So that was the one thing. The other thing is that's important for the grant. My wife's grandfather, 35 years ago, gave us an article saying, oh, it's good you bought a house in Richfield because the train is coming back. So, and I talked to Calabrese and Sarlo about that too. It's called the Hudson-Bergen line, but it's only in Hudson.
Right. It's supposed to extend all the way to Englewood House.
Yeah, so I know when you talk to them, Calabrese, Sarlo, we need it. It's a no-brainer.
I think it's associated with the tunnel, and I just read an article right now that the tunnel, they just awarded the contract for the Gateway Tunnel.
All right.
All right, gotta cut you off.
If you can, thank you.
All right, who else? Okay.
Sean Shalinski. A quote from Harry S. Truman, President. It is amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets the credit. I'd like to know, which I've asked, and actually other citizens have asked, and you can answer the question after I'm through, please. Why the citizens' comments on the agenda has been removed, and why the public comments, currently now, has been reduced from 5 minutes to 3 minutes. The $600,000 grant that you're speaking about, I did an Oprah request on it, and as of the 29th of, wait a minute, as of, let me see here. As of the 29th of March, there was no official written notice of award or an agreement or a grant agreement. I'd like to know if the borough has obtained one. I'd also like to say, I'd like to thank the new council members, Mr. Martucci, Mr. Jafar, also Dr. Raimondo, for helping and fostering the compliance of garbage pickup and in the garden apartments, because it has been without incident since we cleared that up. And I don't think that it should be a great accomplishment to have people dispose of their garbage properly and to have it picked up properly. Dr. Ryu and Mrs. Kim, you had mentioned last meeting that you voted against having a Board of Health member recently appointed, that there was not a certain vetting process that was done. I would like you to explain to me what vetting process we've had in the past with all other members of all other committees. I think this was singled out. I don't think it's, people get appointed all the time, and I don't really see that there's an application or a vetting process. So I'd like you to really elaborate on why you voted against that, because it really didn't seem that it was warranted. Also, I'd just like to say that Ridgefield, if you take a walk tonight after the meeting, you walk in Ridgefield, it's still a quiet town. It's like Mayberry. But services have gone down through the years, but now they're coming back. And we did dip into that surplus way too much to meet the budget. So we talked about not wanting to fire people, but you did it because you dipped into the surplus.
All right, response to this question, this comment? All right, Mr. Shaw.
Before you do, does anybody else want to come up and speak? All right, Debbie. I saw her first, Debbie.
That's okay, I say that with love.
Debbie Finetti, 602 Elm Avenue. I have an issue. I worked for the Recreation Department, I can say before Ray did, for 30-something years. In my office my prior office, the camp office, I have a huge red sign that says, anyone getting caught taking pictures of a camper is fired. While I understand when you're out in public, people can take pictures. I don't need to be told. But I think I would really, truly recommend that the mayor and council consider asking that during a recreation event, an RBAO event, any event, that our children are not, and our grandchildren are not being plastered on a Facebook open page. If I put my child on, or my grandchild on my page, it is only there for the people that I want to see it. It's not there for everyone to see it. I appreciate the fact that when I see people doing it, some people doing it, they put smiley faces over the children that don't belong to them. I am a parent, I'm a grandparent. I did run a damn good camp. I know other people don't believe it, but I did. And I protected every child. I really think that you should consider, I went to a Board of Ed meeting, and the superintendent took pictures, but he announced if there's any parent that would not like their child to be put up on a social page, to let him know. Well, as a parent, they couldn't even get home, and their kids' pictures were put on a Facebook open page. So I would really appreciate if you would look into it. I know you can't legally say, but I think as the mayor and council, you can strongly suggest that it not be done. Thank you.
Lisa?
No, you don't. Get up here.
So, two things. Back to my anti-bullying question. So, and this is not a criticism, and I don't know the answer to this, but I'm sure most of us have seen that this past week, there was, maybe 2 weeks, there was an adult posting on social media, and I know we can't regulate social media with anti-bullying committee, But this adult really said negative things, and it prompted people to be talking, and then the word is apparently this adult says these things at borough activities and things to people. And I didn't know this, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I say it's not a criticism because I've looked at the building committee and I've looked at the mission statement, and we can't go and legislate and tell people, shame on you, don't say those things. Like, that's the world, and that was your parents' job or your guardian's job or the people who raised you. And in fairness, the people of this community did a fantastic job of saying to this person in a nice way, like, what are you doing? Like, rallying the circles, and I think that's phenomenal. And I'm just wondering, and I guess at the end of the day, you can't even like write a letter to this person and be like, shame on you. But I guess what I'm thinking is, and maybe this is a good thing and a bad thing, our kids have gotten the message so well. Like, I don't think we see a lot of bullying with our kids. And at the variety show, if anyone was there, I saw the tape, there was a child who was a special needs child, and he got up and sang, his parent, the whole audience by themselves were cheering and singing with him. Like, that's what we do. And just seeing the thing made me cry. And when I told the people stories, I'm like, this is what's so amazing. Like, organically, this happened. So, but I'm saying to myself, maybe we need to do something to try to educate, and I don't know if we can, adults. Because that message is lost on people like this person. And I know it can't be social media, but if this person really is doing this at public events, then, or like borough clubs and groups for what, maybe we should you'll know when it happens, it's becoming, and I don't want to call anybody out on it, but maybe we should think about like doing something to educate the adults who seem to be thinking it's okay to just say things randomly. And maybe, shunning might be a good thing like the Amish do. And I'm not saying we should do that, but my point is maybe we need to tell people we don't behave this way. And it seems like the adults need it more than the kids. So maybe our committee should think about doing that. And it's sad to say that. And to that end, and I only have 17 seconds, I'm going to try to really talk fast. But Hugo, I think proclamations are great. I do. I don't think we should ever shut the proclamations down. I think that we should be given a little more time to talk because it's just fearful not to let us. And B, I think we have to be more civil to each other up there. I don't think it's okay to raise our voices, yell at each other. We lead by example. And that's got to stop. And I've been on the board, and I've been aggravated, and I've done it, but
Thank you.
civility.
I'll bring it up in the next meeting.
Anybody else?
I don't know if there's, we'll talk about it.
Afterwards, thanks.
Nobody else? Okay, motion to close the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second?
Sure, I was asked.
Wait. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Shan, so yeah, thank you for your comments, and this is a processing of the appointing committee member. Obviously, all the committee members are supposed to be appointed by a mayor. After receiving recommendation from each committee, usually there's only one candidate looking for taking the vacancy. However, last month, once the vacancy was announced by health officer, they're like, at the time, actually, health officer asked for us to, send any recommendations. So next day, it was found out that there are multiple candidates who are showing a high interest. So as of chair of the health committee, I thought that in order to make a fair process, at least our committee members sit down and discuss about it. If there's any the problem, maybe it's necessary, then maybe for them interview. I thought that that's the fair process. However, we didn't have a chance to sit, all the three of us, because one of the health committee member was missing the meeting. So we didn't have a chance to discuss about it. So the fair process wasn't actually done prior to mayor's appointment. That's what I was pointing out. I didn't against the person. I don't know who the person is. But I cannot agree that the person is just taking position is because related to the current mayor council member. I don't think that was fair. That's the reason why I was requesting to improve the agenda resolution. So we can sit down and discuss about it. Then once we make a agreement, we can put it on the table next meeting. That was the idea. So hopefully you understand what I was trying to do from the last meeting. Let me know if you have any further questions.
Can I make a short comment as well? Yeah, with regard to Sean's, asking about why I opposed to the appointment. Again, I don't know who, the person was. I didn't even know if he or she was related to one of the council members. It's just that, as I stated last week, I believe in the process. And because, unlike the past years, this year, all our our council members chair at least one committee. And Mr. Yu, he's a chair of the health board. And when he, as a chair, said that there wasn't fair process, I just wanted to give a benefit of doubt. And obviously, as chair, he should have taken some part in terms of, appointing or filling in the vacancy. That's all I was, advocating for. If there wasn't a process to interview and consider multiple candidates, I think then that needs to be corrected. So that's, what I thought back then. I still stand for it. In the past, yes, maybe, appointments were made behind the scenes under the table, whoever brought on or, mentioned a candidate first, maybe that was how appointment was made, but I'm against it. As I said, I was the one who was excluded from the fair process. I was not shared with the information. And that was repeatedly I criticized, I passed for the past 2 years. And all of a sudden, just because, this year I am, part of the process, I get, I hear information and then I get to actually say, just because I'm on the, to be honest with you, the Republicans who are majority on the council, I'm not gonna treat the minority the way that the treatment that I received. It's just hypocritical, and that's what I'm against hypocrisy.
If I could, I just wanted to state that there are members of this council who, years before they were on the council, were appointed to boards and committees, anti-bullying, all of these things, without an interview process. If that is the way we want to move now, hooray, all for it. But I think that we need to then set a standard as a group. We can't just come up here and say yes to this one, no to this one. I know, Chris, we've had this conversation recently about how we appropriate funds as well. If this is our new standard, then as a group, we need to be united in it, and it might be worth a conversation before a meeting, after a meeting, separate from a meeting, where we can come to an agreement on it. I'm all for it. Transparency is great. But I will tell you, in the past 4 years that I've been here, we still have openings on committees that people haven't stepped up to. I can ask Regina right now, how many people do we need for rent leveling? Sarah, you're the liaison. How many people do we need? I would love to interview 12 people, but nobody's stepping up for vacancies. So it's not always easy to say, we'll interview 12 candidates and pick the top 2 when we can't even get one. So just let's remember that historically, many people up here were appointed to committees where they did not interview, where they did not need to go through that process. If that's what we want to put in place now, excellent. Let's get together and work on it as a team.
And you make a good point. It used to be, anybody who wanted to volunteer for any committee, we just put them on just because they volunteered. And there was, with this instance, I know Mohammed came to me, it was his sister who wanted to be on the committee. She's a 30-year medical student, and I'm like, fine. But I did tell him, why don't you just talk with the members of the health committee and bring it up at the next meeting, which I couldn't make. So, all right. Carlos, Mr. Rendo, anything for executive? No. Please say no. Please say no. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.